ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So now the last verse, the 18th verse, and this is also a continuation context-wise. It is a continuation of the Margayajana, which is done in the 15th verse. 15, 16, 17, 18 deals with Margayajana, praying for the path of the dying man who has done karma, actions, rites and rituals, rites and upasanas, meditations, till with as much as possible for him, as much as his capacity who has done, and he is asking for the path to the Uttarayana Marga to be revealed, the path to he's asking for the revelation of the cosmic person who is symbolized by the sun. Agni Naya Supatha Raye Asman Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidwan Yuyodhi Asmat Juhurana Meno Guyishtham Te Nama Uttim Vidhema. Agni, hey Agni, already we told that Hiranyagarbha has been spoken of as Agni in the previous verse also. Vayur anilam amritam athayitam bhasmantam shariram Om Krato Smara. Om Krato Smara Kritam Smara. Krato Smara Kritam Smara. There also that Purusha is equated with Agni. So here also the same thing. Agni Naya Supatha Naya. Lead me through that auspicious path. Why? For what purpose? Raye. For the sake of wealth. Rai is the root word meaning prosperity. And the Chaturthi Egavatana is Raye. Raye. For the sake of prosperity. And what is prosperity? It will be told in the Bhashya, it is karma phala. That is, whatever you have done, that is your dhana. Whatever actions you have done, whatever righteous works you have done, that is your dhana. That will lead the result. That is the true dhana. So there is Swamiji is quoting in the Subhashita one sloga, Swami Vivekananda is quoting. Suhrit dharmo nidhane pyanuyat ekameva suhrit dharmo nidhane api anuyatiyaha. This much he is quoted. Other, I think the verse even more is there. But the portion is like what this sentence says is Ekameva suhrit dharmo. There is only one friend, dharma, nidhane api anuyatiyaha, which follows us even after death. All other friends are there till death only. But dharma is the only friend that remains with us even after our body falls. So the same thing, Raye is prosperity. Karma phala. Whatever karma actions we have done, the results of those actions. Agni Nayas Supatha Raye Asman. To us, Asman is Dvidiya. May it that reveal that. May it be revealed to us, that path be revealed to us. Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidwan. Hey Deva, O Lord, Vishwani Vayunani Vidwan. Vishwani means all. Vayunani means all karmas and whatever I have done and whatever meditation, whatever thoughts I have thought. Vayunani, all my actions and knowledges. Prajnanani, that is what. Or you can say samskaras, everything. Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidwan. Vidwan is used here in the sense of the present continuous, like having known. You have known, you know it. You are knowing it, John, and having known all these things. Vidwan means Vidwan, John, and having known all my actions and knowledges and meditations. Yuyodhi Asmat Juhurana Menaha. Yuyodhi means destroy, remove. What? Asmat, from me. What should be destroyed? Juhuranam. Eno. Eno means is a papam. That is the meaning, sin. Actually, it is the root word is again enas, enaha, enasi, enamsi. This is how it is coming. So it is enam, eno. Juhuranam means deceptive sins. All sins are deceptive in nature. It takes us into the wrong path. So they are when we go through the wrong path only we do sins. We take a wrong route. So that is the characteristic of sin. So it is told Juhurana Meno Bhuyishtham te Nama Uktim Vidhema. Again and again, te tava, to you, Nama Uktim Vidhema, I give you my prostrations or pranams or namaskaras through my words, because he doesn't have the strength to even do the action of bowing down. So much exhausted he is, but still that mind is clear, that prayer is perfectly clear and is expressing itself perfectly in him. So, Bhuyishtam te nama uktim vidhema. I give you my prostrations in the form of these words, in the form of these utterances. So, this is the last shloka. Now we will see the commentary on it. Punaha anyena mantrena margam yachate. Again, through another mantra, the path is being prayed for. Agni nayayiti. He Agne, Naya, Gamaya, Supatha, Shobhanena Margena. O Agni, lead me, Naya, lead me, Gamaya. How? Supatha, through the auspicious path. Now it will be told here, why Supatha? Because there is another patha, another marga is there, which is the Dakshinayana Marga, where a man has not performed as much meditations as required. He has been sufficiently good actions he has done. But then he will have to go and come back. He will have to go to the Pitralokas and come back. So that is not what is meant here. That is being told. Shobhanena margena supatha iti visheshanam dakshina marga nivrityartam. Supatha, this right path, auspicious path, it has been stated especially to differentiate the path from the Dakshinayana marga, the other path which is called Dakshinayana, Dakshina marga. Nirvinnoham dakshinena margena gadagata lakshanena. I am fed up. Nirvinno, I do not want any more. What? Dakshina marga, the marga, the path through which you go and again come back. like strike off thy fetters, the bonds that bind thee down, of shining gold or darker baser ore. Shining gold. You get good results for the good works you have done, but after the results are exhausted, again you return. Because those good results are done, good actions are, so-called good actions are done with a ulterior motive of enjoying the fruit of it. So this ulterior motive is there, so he has to come back. But this person doesn't want to come back. Supatha iti visheshanam dakshina marga nivrityartham nirvinnoham dakshinena margena dadagata lakshanena, which is characterized by going and coming back. This dakshina marga is characterized by gada, agata. Gada means going and agata means coming. So gadagata lakshanena, characterized by going and coming, dying and again being reborn. Adho yaje tvam, therefore I beg to you, punah punar gamanagamana varjidena shobhanena padhanaya. Punah punar gamanagamana varjidena. That which is varjidena, that which is devoid of what? Gamanagamana. Punah punah gamanagamana varjidena. Again and again going and coming back. This is being repeated ad infinitum. It's going on being repeated. No, I do not want that. Punah punar gamanagamana varjidena shobhanena padhanaya. Raye. For what sake? For what will I get by going through this path? Raye. Dhanaya. Karma phala bhogaya ityarthaha. That is the dhana. The dhana is that the fixed deposit it is kept. All the good actions that you have done, all the rites and meditations, thoughts you have done, is kept in fixed deposit. Now the time for enjoying the deposit has come. So that is what is told here. Karma phala bhogaya, for the enjoyment of the results of karma. Ityartaha. Asman yadokta dharma phala vishishtan. Asman, to us, it is told. Asman means to us. Agnenaya raye asman, karma phala bhogaya. Reveal the path to us. What does it mean? Yadhokta gives an adjective to it. Yadhokta dharma phala vishishta. To whom is attached? To which sadhaka? Me is attached. To whom is attached? To me. To whom is attached? Dharma, yadhokta dharma and its phala. The dharma that is told, you have to do this, you have to do that. The instructions for meditation, the instructions for actions, they are dharma. That dharma and its phala. I have done it, so the phala must, the result of that must definitely be sticking to me. Definitely must be coming to me when the proper time comes. So Asman Yadokta Dharma Phala Vishishtan, who is equipped with the proper performance of all rites and meditations, and therefore the results of it also consequently will come to me. Yadokta Dharma Phala Vishishtan Vishwani Sarvani Hedeva Vayunani Karmani. Vishwani Sarvani. The meaning of Vishwani is everything, all. Sarvani. Hedeva, O Lord. Vayunani. Now the next word is Vayunani. What is the meaning? Karmani Pratnyanani Va. It means both. Karmani, all the actions that I have done, and also all the knowledge that I have gained. Pratnyanani, the wisdom that I have gained. The samskaras, all that I have gained from it. Pratnyanani Va. Vidwan, Janan, having known that, O Lord, having known all my actions and my meditations, therefore, you reveal to me the auspicious path which will lead me to what I have worked for, what I have committed myself my whole life. He deva vayunani karmani prajnanani va vidwan janan kimcha yuyoji viyojaya vinashaya. So the meaning of the word yuyoji is explained. It means viyojaya, separate me from, or destroy. What should be destroyed? Yuyodhi viyojaya vinashaya asmat, from me, asmatto. You should destroy from me. What should be destroyed? Juhuranam kutilam vanchanatmagam enaha papam. You should destroy all the juhuranam. What is juhuranam? Kutilam, the crooked, and vanchanatmagam, which is deceptive in nature. All these papam. Because all these papa I have done, if I have done any papa unknowingly, any sin unknowingly, it is because I have been deceived. Intentionally, nobody does papa. Only a deceived person does papa. This is the meaning. Vanchanatmakam enaha papam tato vayam vishuddhaha santaha ishtam prapsyamaha ityaviprayaha. Tato, and after this, tato vayam. Therefore, when these sins are destroyed, vishuddhaha, I will be purified, and ishtam prapsyamaha ityaviprayaha, I will gain what is beneficial to me, what is really to be aspired for. That also I will gain by being purified of all impurities, of all sins. Kintu vayam idhani tena shaknumaha paricharyam kartum. But one problem is that now at this moment I am not able to serve you to my heart with my hands and feet, by bowing down to you or anything. I cannot serve you at this moment. Bhuyishtam bahutaram te tubhyam nama uktim namaskara vachanam vidhema. Bhuyishtam, many times. Te tubhyam, to you I am doing nama uktim. Nama I am uttering by my words. I cannot follow it up by bowing down to you physically. Even that much energy is not there. So, te tubhyam nama uktim. I give my prostrations by means of the word namaha. Namaskara vachanam vidhema. Namaskarena paricharema ityartaha. I just, by merely the utterance of my word Nama, I am bowing down to you. This is the meaning. Namaskarena paricharema. Parichara means actually serving. So that serving normally requires the physical action also. But the physical action I cannot do now. So you please accept my prostrations or my pranams in the form of my words, in the form of my utterances. Now, in the last one more paragraph is learned, that is mainly concerned with clarifying that Vidya and Avidya, again and again they are telling that Vidya does not mean Brahma Vidya. That is that Avidyaya mrityum tirtva vidyaya amritamashnute. Avidya does not mean Brahma Vidya. Vidya does not mean Brahma Vidya, and Avidya does not mean ignorance. It means, on the other hand, Vidya means Upasana and Avidya means Karma. So this is again told here in one paragraph as a summary to the whole thing is told here. Because this, as I told you, this Upanishad, 8 verses of this Upanishads only are, according to Shankara, dealing with what is called Brahma Vidya. The remaining is to be understood the place of karma, rites and upasanas, meditations in our life. So that is being further clarified. Avidyaya mrityum tirtva vidyaya amritam ashnute vinashena mrityum tirtva asambhutya amritam ashnute idi shrutva kejit samshayam kurvanti. Still some persons' doubts are not clear. So, adastan niragaranartam sangshepato vicharanam karishyamaha. So, in a brief manner, I shall again clarify it. Tatra tavat kim nimitta samshaya ityuchyate. Why is this doubt arising? Vidya shabdena mukhya paramatma vidya eva kasmanna grihyate amritatvancha. Why not take by vidya, paramatma vidya, and by kasmana grihyate and amritatvam and also amritatva. Then avidyaya mrityum tirtva vidyaya amritam ashnute. So amrita is here told it is apekshika amritatva. It is relative immortality, not the immortality that comes from Brahma Vidya. That is absolute immortality. Because that is what is that immortality? You attain something called, you attain the highest loka, Brahma loka. But there also the purified mind is there. The most rarest form of the mind is there. The mental connection is still there. So, still you have not attained absolute immortality. And still there are chances of your coming back. That is the belief. That is what the Shastras say. So, it is apekshikam, is relative immortality. Tavat kim nimitta samshaya vidya shabdena mukhya paramatma vidya kasmanna grihyate. That is, vidya does not, why not take vidya to mean the paramatma vidya, and why not take amritatva to mean the absolute immortality, not the relative immortality. Nanu uktayaha paramatma vidyayaha karmanascha virodhat samuchaya anubhavati. Because that Paramatma Vidya is opposed to karma and therefore both cannot be mixed. It is like saying that the snake, you see the rope that you missed in the darkness, you are walking in the darkness, you see something lying on the floor, something resembling a snake, and you run away. Now, that has to be either a snake or a rope. Then, but you cannot combine, it cannot be both a snake and a rope at the same time. So, this is the point made here. Paramatma vidyayaha karmanascha virodhat samuchaya anubhavati. Therefore, it doesn't stand to reason that they can be combined both Paramatma vidya, Brahma vidya and actions. Satyam virodastu na avagamyate virodha avirodayoho shastra pramanagatvat. But but that virodha, that contradiction, we do not understand. How can we understand that there is contradiction between vidya and avidya? Because this contradiction we have to understand from scriptures. So this is the opponent's argument. The opponent is arguing, the opponent to the views of this text, the views of Shankara, that this is that Brahma Vidya and Avidya can be combined. They are arguing, no, but this opposition that Vidya and Avidya cannot be combined has to be understood from the Shastras. So if the Shastra doesn't reveal it, how will we understand? And here the Shastra is explicitly mentioning that Vidya and Avidya can be combined. This is the opponent's view. कर्मणश्च विरोधात् समुच्चय विरोधस्तु विरोध अविरोधयोः शास्त्र प्रमाणगत्वात्. It has shastras as its pramana, virodha and avirodha. यथा अविद्यानुष्ठानम् विद्योपासनं च शास्त्रप्रमाणकम् तदा तद्विरोध अविरोधौ अपि. Like avidya anushtanam, that karma has to be done. What is the on what authority we understand that? On the authority of the Shastras. Scriptures, we understand that karmas have to be done. The same with the meditations. On the authority of the scriptures, we understand that meditations are to be performed. And whether they can be combined or not combined, that also we have to understand on the strength of the scriptures only. Tad virodha avirodhau api shastra pramanagatvam api. It has to be understood from the shastras only. Yadhacha, he is giving a general example. Na himsyat sarva bhutani iti shastrat avagadam. Punah shastrena eva vadhyate. Advare pashum himsyad iti. For instance, it is told, a general instruction is given. Na himsyat sarvani bhutani. One should not hurt any creature. This is a general instruction. But then there is a specific instruction in the Vedas. It is coming, if you are sacrificing an animal for rites or rituals, it is allowed. This is the argument. So that doesn't count as a himsa. So the negative effect of killing something will not come if it is done for the sake of sacrifices. This is a belief, we can argue against it or for it, but this is the view held by this is one of the traditional views held by the ritualists. Yadha na himsyat sarva bhutani iti shastrat avagadam. You understand it from the shastras that no creature is to be hurt or harmed. Punah shastrena eva vadhyate. The same instruction is again overruled by the same scriptures, overrules the same instruction by saying that advare pashum himsyat. Sacrifices, animals can be killed. Evam vidya avidyayoravi syat. Vidya karmanoshta samuchchayaha. Therefore, both can be combined. That in the beginning, one may tell that it is both cannot be, that vidya and avidya are different. But they can be combined also. They can be overruled also. Just like in the just mentioned case. Then he says, no, it cannot be done. Now they are quoting one verse from the Kathopanishad, which goes like this. Duramete viparite vishuji avidyayacha vidyeti nyata vidya bhipsinam nachiketa sammanye natva kama bhavo lolupanta. Duramete viparite vishuji. Avidya and vidya are greatly by extreme, they are both extremes. They are extremely opposed to each other. Duramete viparite. They are of opposite natures. And vishuji, they lead to different things. They are opposed to each other and they lead also to different results. So duramete viparite vishuji. Avidya yacha vidyeti jnata. That they are, the avidya and vidya are opposed to each other and they lead to different results. Vidya bhipsinam nachiketasam manye natva kama bhavo lolupantaha. But you have got the tendency, you have got vidya in you, not avidya. Yama is praising Nachiketa. It's telling that you have got vidya, the tendency for vidya in you. Because all these temptations for different things, desires, etc., could not. Yama offers him many temptations. You can go to heaven, you can have a lot of money, you can have grandchildren, you can go to heavenly damsels, you can have, but nothing he wants. I want to know the mystery of death, Nachikheta says. So, in that context, this verse is coming. So, what Shankara is telling here is that in that verse, it has been clearly mentioned that Vidya and Avidya cannot be combined. So, because it is mentioned there, therefore here you cannot take Vidya and Avidya to mean Brahma Vidya and Karma. So, that is the point, that is why that particular verse is being quoted here. न दूरमेते विपरीते विशूचि अविद्याया च विद्येति श्रुतेः हेतु स्वरूप फल विरोधात्. So this from this verse दूरमेते विपरीते in Kathopanishad, we have to understand that as far as Vidya and Avidya is concerned, their hetu, causes, swarupa, their nature, and phala, results are different. The hetu, the causes of Vidya is different, the cause of Avidya is different. What is the cause of Vidya? Brahma Vidya, you know the self, the all-pervading self, which has got nothing of Avidya, no darkness, nothing is there associated with it. And the cause of Avidya is different. You have identified yourself with something that is Jada, that is totally delusionally created. That is created by Avidya. So it is Hetu, Swarupa, and the results are also different. The result of Vidya, Avidya is you go and come back. That samsara, being born and dying, that is the result of Avidya, and the result of Vidya is different. You attain immortality. That you are beyond all 6 kinds of changes, you realize. Vidyam cha avidyam cha iti vajanat avirodha iti chet na. Then is again that same argument is being raised that Vidya and Avidya, Avirodha is there. There is no contradiction between Vidya and Avidya. Because it has been told here explicitly, Vidyam cha Vidyam cha yastat. Okay, what he's trying to tell us, in Kathopanishad it is told like that. But here it is told, Vidya and Avidya, he who knows both. So why not take this as true and that as untrue? He's telling. You are telling that Kathopanishad is true, that passage Vidya and Avidya cannot be combined is true. But here it is told that both are true. Both can be combined. So take this and reject that. So, Vidyam cha Avidyam cha iti vajanat avirodha iti chet na. Vidya, Avidya, virodha, avirodhayoho vikalpa asambhavat. It cannot mean that you can take alternatives. So, there it is true, here it is untrue. No. If it is rejected once means that is, it cannot be true. Then it cannot be true here also. There it is told, there in Kathopanishad it was told, both cannot be combined. Then that means here also those cannot be combined. So you should look for alternative meanings for Vidya and Avidya. And therefore you take Vidya to mean Upasana and Avidya to mean Karma. Vidya, Avidya, Virodha, Avirodeyoho, Vikalpa, Asambhavat. Samuchaya Vidhanat, Avirodha Evedi Chetna. That Samuchaya Vidana, because combination is mentioned here, it is Avirodha alone that is should be taken. No. Sahasambhava Anupapattehi. Both cannot coexist at all. Both of them cannot coexist. Kramena. Now they are telling a different thing. They are telling that, okay, it cannot be. Let us say that Vidya, Avidya, I have got Avidya now. And I do works, rites and meditations, gradually then after some days my mind will be purified and then I can understand Brahma Vidya. So Kramena, through gradually I will, the same thing will come to me. Now I am associated with ignorance, but with the passage of time, Vidya will come to me. Why not say like that? Then it can be combined. The same person, today it may not be possible, but after, if I do it with Nishtha, I do all these things, after a certain period, then Vidya will come to me. And this is admitted. Actually, though in the Bhashya, it is not very clear, it is made clear in the text, in the Tika, it is made clear. He says that yes, if you say that Avidya is, now you have got Avidya, and then later Vidya will come, fine. We are fine with that. But the opposite is not true. You have got Vidya now, again Avidya will come to you after the passage of time. That is not true. And that is what is refuted in the commentary. That through the passage of time, Avidya will mature into Vidya. But the opposite is not true. Vidya will not degrade into Avidya. Once Vidya comes, it is yours. It is not going to go away. So there is no question of that happening. This is being told. Kramena ekashraye syatha vidya vidye chetna. Kramena, gradually, ekashraye, vidya and vidye, vidya avidye. Vidya and avidya will be ekashraye, will come to the same person. First you have got avidya, then you have got vidya. Or first you have got vidya, then avidya will come to you. Ekasya vidya vidyedi chet na. No, it cannot be done. So again here it is told, when this negation is a conditional negation which is revealed in the Tika, that if you have got vidya now, avidya now, then it is okay, we admit, we are fine with it. After some gradual passage of time, you may get vidya. But the opposite is not true. If you have got vidya, after you have got vidya, again, you will not come under the jurisdiction of avidya. Now, vidyotpattau avidyaya hi astatvat. Because why? When vidya has arisen, when knowledge has arisen, ignorance is once and for all destroyed. Avidyaya hi astatvat. He is emphatic. For emphasis, it is told. Avidyaya hi astatvat. Avidya is totally destroyed. Once vidya arises, once knowledge arises. So there is no question of it coming back again. Astatvat. Tadashraye avidya anubhavattehe. Therefore, in one who has got knowledge, avidya, the arising of avidya is absurd. It can never happen. Nahi, now it is told, commonsensical one illustration is given. Nahi agnihi ushnaha pragashashcheti vijnana utpattau yasmin ashraye tadutpannam tasminneva ashraye shito agnihi aprakasho va iti avidyayaha utpattihi napi samshayo ajnanam va. One person, nahi agnihi ushnaha pragashashcheti, that agni, a person has known for a fact that fire is warm and illumines. He has known, he has clearly perceived that. In that same person, yasmin ashraye, in whom this knowledge has arisen, tasmin eva ashraye, the same person, shito agnihi, that agni is cold, the opposite, that opposite perception, because he may not have perceived agni, he has only heard about it. That is an absurd example is given to highlight the point. Shito agnihi, that the knowledge is absurd, that agni is cold and as well as aprakasho, it cannot illumine. Aprakasho va iti avidhyaya utpattihi. This ignorance cannot arise in him. Napi samshayaha, nor the doubt, napi ajnanam va, nor the wrong knowledge, error. So this cannot arise. If the person who has perceived what is fire and its function cannot mistake it anymore, cannot impose opposing attributes to fire, that is absurd. Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaiva bhut vijanataha tatra ko mohaha kashokaha egatvam anupashyataha idi shoga mohadi asambhava shrutehe. That the same verse is quoted, that was quoted here. In whom has arisen the knowledge that the Atman is everything, that there is nothing apart from the Atman. For him there is no moha and shoka. Moha, grief and delusion is completely vanished for him. They cannot come back to him. It cannot be combined. After having attained this knowledge, again that grief and delusion can come back to him. This cannot happen. Iti shroga mohadi asambhava shrutehi. Avidya asambhavat tad upadanasya karmano abhi anubhavattim avochama. Because avidya cannot be there, tad upadanasya means that which has got avidya as its cause. Avidya eva upadanam yasya karmanaha tad upadana. That is the meaning. Avidya asambhava avidya upadanasya. That which has avidya as its upadana. Those karmas that has avidya as its upadana, that also cannot happen. If avidya is not there, karma also cannot be there, because karma is the effect of avidya. Amritam ashnute iti apekshikam amritam. Sambhutya, that is amritam ashnute, that vinashena mrityum tirtva sambhutya amritam ashnute, or avidyaya mrityum tirtva vidyaya amritam ashnute. So, this is apekshikam, relative immortality. That is not absolute immortality that comes from the knowledge of the self. Idi apekshikam amritam vidya shabdena paramatma vidya grahane hiranmayena ityadina margadi yajanam anubhavannam. Another example is quoted in order to highlight the fact that vidya does not mean paramatma vidya but upasana. Vidya shabdena paramatma vidya grahane. If you take vidya to mean paramatma vidya, again another problem is there. What is that problem? Hiranmayena ityadina dvarga margadi yajanam anubhavannam. Because he is praying for the path. That dying person is praying for the path. But if it was Brahma Vidya, that moment you are free. There is no more prayer is required there. He is free. That moment he has realized the all-pervading illumined Atman. He doesn't have to pray for any path there. That is not applicable to him. Marga Yajana is not meant for him. Hiranmayena ityadina dvarga margadi yajanam anubhavannam. This prayer for the path also is not applicable to him. Anubhavannam syat tasmat upasanaya samuchchayo. Therefore, the combination that is talked about there is with upasana. Na paramatma vijnanena. Not with paramatma vijnana. Iti yatha asmabhihi vyakhyataha. As was explained by us earlier, eva mandrartha iti uparamyate. Therefore, as has been explained by us earlier, even so is the meaning of the particular verse. Therefore, we are withdrawing. We have finished our arguments. We have placed the conclusions before you and we are withdrawing. So, this is the end of the Ishavasya Upanishad Bhashya. So I think it took around 14 classes, and it is one of the shortest Upanishads. And in short, we can just have a summary, some time is there. So in the beginning, in the first verse, Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkim cha jagatyam jagat tena tektena bunjitha magritha tasya swintanam. It was told to resort to the vision of truth, to resort to the vision of the Ishvara, who is not different from one's own self in all, and thus protect yourself. Through this vision, you should protect yourself, and you do not desire wealth. This was told here. The highest Upadesha was given in the first verse. Then it was told, if you cannot do this, then you desire to live in this world for 100 years. Do it diligently, the duties, all the duties and responsibilities that you have, or in the context of the Vedas, it is the rites and rituals that you have, you do it. You do all these things, and there is no other alternative open to you. Either of these paths you have to stick to. Either you perform actions and meditations as ordained by your teacher, or you resort to the vision of the Supreme Self. These are the two paths that are open to you. Then it was told, if you deviate from this, then a very dark world is there before you, and when you die, you will have to, there's a lot of uncertainty on what is going to happen to you. So the important thing is the third verse, what the third verse means to convey is that always hold the ideal before you. Hold on to the ideal in whatever way is possible. And thus the three verses have gone by. The next is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5 verses are on the nature of the Atman. It starts with Anejadekam manaso javiyo naina deva apnuvan purvamarshata tadhavato anyanatyeti tishtat tasmin naho matarishva dadhati. Anejad, it doesn't move. Ekam, it is non-dual. Manaso javiyo, it is faster than the mind. Naina deva apnuvan, even the senses cannot reach it because it has gone before it. The Atman even supersedes it. That was told that what was mentioned is that the Atman is moving is told as a rhetorically, it is actually without motion, but when it comes in contact with upadhis, limiting adjuncts, it appears to move. That is, when the light of the Atman comes in association with the mind, then along with the mind, the Atman also appears to move. But in reality, if it's separate from the mind, it is beyond motion, and it is beyond motion, being movable and immovable. It is beyond all things. But when it comes in contact with the mind, that it was told that when the reflection of the Atman comes to the mind gets the power or capability to know things. So all these was told there, so we need not go into that again. So Manasudena Deva Apnuvan Purva Marshada Tad Dhavato Anyan Atyeti Tishtan. It supersedes all things that are running, all things that are capable of motion by remaining immobile. It was told. Tasmin Napo Matarishwa Dadhati. Because the Atman is there, Tasmin, because the Atman is there, Matarishwa was the cosmic soul, which is called Hiranyagarbha. Matarishvayati iti, that which fills the mother, grows in the mother. The mother here is the concept of Akasha, or the concept, here it is called Antariksha, in the Akasha, the prana that fills the Akasha. The possibility of vitality that fills this universe, that is everywhere in this universe. The possibility of life force is there everywhere. If you put some water here, that water decays, sometimes you find some worms coming out of it, some kind of degeneration when it happens, you feel some kind of microorganisms coming up. That is because vitality is present everywhere. That prana is present everywhere. So, tasmin apo matarishva, apaha means karmani, matarishva, the cosmic soul, dadhati, he allots. Then it's told tadejadi, tannejadi, all these was told until the 8th verse. Then after the 8th verse, the Atma Vichara as such is over. The knowledge of the Atman, the nature of the Atman has been given, it has been stopped, it has been, that topic is completed. And next 9, 10 and 11 deals with a different topic, the combination of rites with meditations. This was told that avidya both have to be combined for better results. Both have got their own places. You stick to only one, that is not healthy. You combine both. Do works. If you are not fit for the absolute knowledge, you combine works and meditation. Through works, you get rid of the bad tendencies that wants to come out through you. You neutralize those. And through vidya, you attain the power of concentration, and you can even attain oneness with the deity through meditation. So the combination, the utility of combination was told. Again in the next verse, Sambhudi and Asambhudi was asked to be combined, or what is called Asambhudi and Vinasha, which is again the combination of two kinds of upasana, the upasana of the formless and the formed. Both you combine. Don't just stick to the formless upasana or the upasana form only. Both you can combine. This was told. Then after that, again the Marga Yajana is told. A person who has done karmas and upasanas his whole life, what will be his last moments like when he is going to die? That was told in 15, 16, 17 and 18. Hiranmayena, that you remove that lid that covers that glittering lid, that oppressive, that is oppressive with its allure, that's oppressive with it in its alluring us, that oppressive glare you remove and reveal to me the real nature of things. That is, it was told that there is the cosmic person who is present both in the sun as Aditya Mandala, in the solar orb, as well as it is present in me also. In my the position where it is present in me is in the right eye. The same person who is present in the solar orb is also present in the right eye. I have known that. So you remove that. So the prayer is to the sun god. You remove that covering and reveal to me your real nature. This was told. And once that real nature is revealed, I will go to that highest loka and I will be one with you. So this is the prayer. This is what is called the Uttarayana Marga. And the prayer, what is being revealed in the last 4 verses, Hiranmayena, Patrena, etc. Then it was told, Vayu Ranilam Amritam, Pushanne Karshe, all you remove your covering, Vyuha Rishmi, you remove your Rishmi, Samuha Tejo, your oppressive glare you remove, so that I can see your auspicious form. Because what you are, that I am also that, he is telling. Then it's told, Vayu Ranilam, that this Vayu, this prana that is trapped in this body, remove the strapping so that it can become unified with the immortal Vayu. And let the body be reduced to ashes. O Krato Smara, Kritam Smara. O you, Krato, you mean that you who are the cosmic person, fire, who is volitional in nature, you remember all that I have done and all the auspicious thoughts that I have thought. Please remember that and reveal yourself to me. Then the last verse, which is Agnenaya Subhadha Raye Asman Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidwan. You reveal, O Agni, you reveal that auspicious path to me. You know all my actions as well as my meditations. Yuyodhyasmat Jhurana Meno. Whatever impurities are there in the form of sins are there still in my mind, you yodhi, you remove it, you destroy it. Bhuyishtham te nama uktim vidhema. Again and again I am bowing down to you with my words because I don't have the strength to bow down to you physically. Please accept my pranams, my prostrations, oral prostrations, you can say. And thus concludes this Upanishad. So I think we will conclude with this. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanavastu.